Hey everyone, it's Helena and Tom. In this video, we wanted to share something that you should stop doing immediately with men if you truly want to feel valued and prioritized in your relationship or attract a man who wants to prioritize you. This is something we see women doing all the time. I keep seeing it in the comment sections of some of my videos here on YouTube, and we really want to help you turn this pattern around. So I'll let you start. What is this thing that women should stop doing in dating and relationships?
The thing to stop doing is making excuses for a man. And I know that, like you said, we've received a number of comments in some of our videos, and you see comments in your YouTube videos. But we also see this in our own lives with family and friends who are maybe dating somebody new. And I think you have experienced examples where you may ask somebody, when was the last time you saw each other? Or has he set up your next date yet? And immediately that question is met with an excuse. It's, well, he has his kids this weekend, or he's really busy right now with work, or something along those lines. And as you and I have talked about before, I think that desire to meet that question with an immediate excuse is coming from an internal recognition that there's a deficiency in what she's receiving from the man, and she is justifying it to herself, and so it gets projected outwardly as well when asked about the relationship. I think that there are often too many times where the excuse of being busy is used, and I think that it very seldom is actually applicable. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yeah. This "I'm really busy" excuse is something that a lot of men say. I mean, women do too, right? Men hear these same things all the time. I think some men say that just because they're not all that interested. They don't want to hurt your feelings, right? Some men, the category you fell into, are actually busy, but they're also highly interested and motivated to get into a relationship with you. So you might see how busy he is or hear about it. But if a man's truly interested, him being busy is not going to affect your relationship all that much, because he will prioritize you and make time for the things that are important to him, just like you did. This other category of men who say they're busy when you're dating are usually only somewhat interested. They're interested enough to maybe see you last minute or fit you into their schedule whenever they can, but they're not interested enough to truly prioritize you and put both feet in and commit to a real relationship. And so it's important to not make excuses for these men and basically just hold out hope that maybe one day things will change. If you show him every single thing you have to offer, maybe he'll magically transform into someone who's available and ready for the kind of relationship you want. Something we've been talking about a lot lately is how things start off in the relationship is typically how they progress. So if he only has time for you once or twice a month, he's not going to all of a sudden transform into this guy who wants to see you every day or multiple times a week, from what we've seen, don't you think?
Right. Yeah. I agree.
So what are some things that women should do instead of making excuses for a man?
I think the first thing is that you have to reframe your mindset around this relationship, this particular man. And that's to say that you should take a particular man off of the pedestal and stop focusing on him as the goal or the prize in your mind. You actually want to get to the place where the men who are stringing you along and not seeming like they're ever going to commit fade away as quickly as possible, so that you're not committing unnecessary and wasteful energy to that relationship.
That's so true. Yeah, you actually want the men who are never going to step up and prioritize you to fade away. You want to see that as a good thing. It's very counterintuitive, because often with these sort of half-hearted connections, we can tend to want to keep these things active and alive. We want to hold on to that guy who feels like he's slipping through our fingers so we don't lose him. But you want to reframe that, just like you said, and actually see that as a good thing. You want to be grateful when the men who are not right for you show you that they're the wrong men. Sometimes with their words, they'll tell you, but usually it's with their actions or their lack of masculine action towards you. They'll show you that they're not someone who's really ever going to make you a priority. So you want those guys who are stringing you along to fade away. That's super important. What's something else that women should do instead of making excuses for a man?
Well, they should stop trying to make something happen. Not try to make it as easy as possible for a man to stick around. I think that sometimes there is, like you said, a tendency to want to continue to pour energy into a relationship because they're trying to tie it up and hold it together, and they're fighting against the underlying fundamental nature of a relationship like that. If you are trying to make something happen, if you feel like if you were to stop putting in energy to that relationship that it would just simply dissipate and he would fade away, then you're fighting against the underlying nature of a relationship like that. You want to allow that to dissolve as quickly as possible. And I think that will help to reframe your whole mindset around that relationship if you can take your focus off trying to make it happen with this particular man. Would you agree?
So important. Yeah, absolutely. You want to see what this guy does all on his own without this constant pushing and nudging and reminding on your end. Basically, when you stop trying to keep things going or make it as easy as possible for him. That's super important. The third thing we wanted to share is ignore his words. Watch his actions. So what are his actions telling you? Is he showing you with his consistent actions over time that he's motivated to get into a relationship with you? Or if you're already in a relationship, is he showing you with his actions that he's motivated to move things forward or make you a priority in his life? It's so important. The only exception I have to this is if a man flat out tells you that he's not ready for a relationship, or he only sees you as a friend, or he never really sees himself committing or getting married, and that's something that you want. You actually want to believe him, even if his actions are showing you that he likes you. If he's telling you he doesn't want what you want, it's important to believe him. But other than that, it's very important to watch his actions, don't you think?
Right. I think you and I have talked about the fact that generally people will, from the very beginning with their actions, indicate how they are likely to continue to act over the course of the relationship. And so I think that if you were watching his actions, you should ask yourself if this is the type of dynamic that you yourself want to commit to right now, all things being the same. That means that you shouldn't make any assumptions about his behavior transforming miraculously over the course of time. You should assume that his actions are indicative of how he is likely to continue in your relationship.
Yeah, that is so important. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yeah, so that's what we wanted to share today. We always love hearing from you. Let us know in the comment section, where are you at in your current situation? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and you can always get my free report and audio training on my website, helenahartcoaching.com. I'll include a link to that in the description of this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my new podcast, Master Your Magnetism. That's available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. We always love hearing from you. We hope this was helpful, and we will see you next time.